Single fathers, what's your proudest dad moment? My older son came home crying one Tuesday and said he failed his math test. I knew something was wrong because we studied together every single night for 2 weeks straight. He knew that material cold. I asked to see the test and my stomach dropped. Half these problems weren't even from his textbook. They were way harder, like stuff from 8th grade, and my kid was only in 5th. I emailed his teacher, Miss Reynolds, that same night. No response. I emailed again the next morning. Still nothing. So I drove to the school during lunch, and the secretary told me Miss Reynolds was busy preparing for state testing. I said I'd wait. She told me that wasn't allowed, and I needed to schedule an appointment through the parent portal. I scheduled one right there on my phone for the next day. The appointment got canceled an hour before with no explanation. That's when I knew something was really wrong. I waited in the school parking lot after dismissal and caught Miss Reynolds walking to her car. I was polite, I promise. I just showed her the test and asked why half the problems weren't from the curriculum. She got immediately defensive and said the standards had changed mid-year and parents weren't always informed of updates. That didn't sit right with me. I went home and spent 4 straight nights reading every curriculum guide the district published online. I downloaded the state math standards. I even found the textbook publisher's scope and sequence. None of it matched what was on that test. My son had been set up to fail on purpose. I started asking around at pickup. Turned out 6 other kids failed that same test. All of them had single parents or families getting free lunch. The kids with 2 parents and money all passed fine. I dug deeper and found something that made me sick. The school was using these rigged tests to push certain kids into remedial tracks. Why? Because it freed up funding for advanced programs that looked good on the school's performance reports. I printed everything I found and called the district office to set up a meeting with the principal. They scheduled me for Friday morning, but when I showed up, they said the principal never got my request and had no idea who I was, except I had spoken to someone on the phone who said she was the principal. I checked my email. The domain looked legit, but 1 letter was off. Someone had created a fake email to intercept parent complaints. I was furious. I contacted a local education blogger who had written about school funding issues before. She put me in touch with a reporter at the news station. I handed over everything. The story ran that weekend. Parents started flooding the district office with calls. The school board announced an emergency public meeting. I testified for 11 minutes straight. I brought printed evidence, showed the fake email domain, and named every kid who had been pushed into remedial classes unfairly. Other parents spoke too. The board voted to open a full investigation. Within 3 weeks, Miss Reynolds was placed on leave. The assistant dean who had posed as the principal was fired. 2 other administrators were reassigned to non-school positions. But the part that mattered most? My son got to retake the test with problems that actually matched what he'd been taught. He scored 92%. He came home that day and said, "Dad, I'm not dumb." I told him I already knew that. He's applying to the gifted program next year.